Okay, Space Jam, new movie. It's fucking terrible. Jesus Christ. You know, I thought it could be good. You know, I think the first one isn't a great movie by any stretch of imagination, but it's. I can see why it's popular. I can see why it's kind of stayed popular over the years. This, you know, is doing well, but it's not going to have lasting thing. God, it's bad. There's a moment in this movie where I just like, instead of just looking at the screen, I just kind of like zoned out into the void because I was like, what the hell? What is happening? Why am I here? Why am I alive? What is going on in the world? It's so bad. It's so fucking bad. Like the whole movie isn't all like it's not like it's without anything that's redeeming quality. There's a couple like little cameo bits that are they're worth a chuckle. There's a few chuckles here and there. There's a couple decent Looney Tunes gags in it. But it's barely even like it doesn't have any of like I said, the first one's not a great movie, but it has kind of the Looney Tunes spirit to it. This is just this is just fucking garbage. It's it's like it's just so bad, you know. And like, Ron James could act in Trainwreck. I can't think of he's acted in anything else. Like, he's got some acting ability. You sure wouldn't know it from this, man. They give him nothing to do. He's got nothing going for him as an actor in this. The plot is fucking terrible. Like, they spent like this is a fucking almost 2 hour movie because they spent so much time building up the villain character, the Don Cheadle character. I feel really bad for Don Cheadle. This is absolutely a career low for him. Like, boy, it's like something like this. You don't even need you don't even really need a villain character, but they spend so much time building up this evil AI, and then like the stuff with like LeBron and his kid, and I guess that that could have worked, but it doesn't in this. It's just very poorly done, and it's not interesting. And it's like if the jokes and the gags were could make up for it, it really wouldn't matter. But there's nothing fun. There's not really nothing funny in this. And I know one thing that people brought up with this movie is how it's it's a Warner Brothers movie, and they go over the top with like references to other Warner Brothers properties, and it does feel like that at times. Like a bunch of IP just exploded all over the screen. Like there's so many beat you over the head references to everything that Warner Brothers has. It's like, hey, we have Game of Thrones. Hey, we have Harry Potter. Hey, we have DC, and they just beat you over the head with it constantly. Like during the big climactic game, they just constantly are cutting to shots showing you know famous characters from whether it's movies or TV. They just won't stop. It's like, we get it. We know you have these things, but you're not using them for anything. There's a whole thing where like they're recruiting the Toon Squad, and all the Toons, for reasons that I don't really understand, are like they're all living in like other properties. So like, oh god, what was it like Daffy Duck is in the DC universe for some reason trying to join the Justice League. There's no, it's like member berries. It's member berries exploding all over the screen. Like they're not spoofing anything. They're not making good jokes. It's just, hey, this is a thing, and now we're putting a Looney Tunes character in it. So isn't that inherently funny? Well, no, it really isn't inherently funny because you don't do anything that's funny. Um, like the Looney Tunes are like almost like not even they don't even matter in this movie. Like they could be anybody. They could be just any cartoon characters. There's very little about anything that they do that's like, oh, this is like in the spirit of Looney Tunes. It's not. It's like the animation is dark and ugly. It's just it's movie is way too chaotic with its effects to an animation. It's just relentless. It's like they don't take 1 second to even like just slow down for a second. It's just nonstop, like big effects, big animation, big noise, big chaos in your face every second. It's not fun. Like you just want it to be like I think that's probably the reason that the original Space Jam movie has kind of endured over the 25 years, because I think it's still a Looney Tunes movie. Like it still works as like a Looney Tunes cartoon with live action in there too. And this doesn't do that at all. This is just it's a dark, ugly kind of movie. It's not fun. It's just so chaotic and so noisy and loud. You know, I kind of like this. There's decent stuff early when they first get to when they first Bugs Bunny. We first see Bugs Bunny. And it's like there's some decent stuff there where because it's kind of low key a little bit. It's not constant noise and chaos. That's not what everyone's grown up with Looney Tunes stuff. That's not what Looney Tunes is about. It's about like silliness and goofiness. And this movie isn't silly or goofy. It's just very. It's just chaos. It's effects and animation, chaos and noise, and like they don't do anything with the like one of the fun things in the earlier movie is they bring in the the Goon Squad. Were they the Goon Squad the first one? I don't remember, but it was the thing where they like take the talent from the NBA players, and I think that's like that was kind of fun. Here they have some like real players, some real basketball players. They got Diana Taurasi turns into a snake for some reason, but they don't do anything with it. Like I don't even know who one of the there's one or two of them. I don't even know who the fuck they were supposed to be. Like maybe if you're like a super diehard NBA fan, you know who they are, but like there's nothing distinctive about them when they like bring them into the Toon World and they're turning into monsters. They don't ever say monstars, but I guess that's what they're supposed to be. But it's just just a gross looking movie. It's not a pleasant movie to look at. Like they make a big fuss about how they upgrade the animation on the Looney Tunes at one point. It's like, but it's not good animation. It's just kind of like, like I prefer the classic kind of animation. I don't even like who they like. I'm sure all the original voice people who did these characters are long since gone, but like whoever they got even to do like the Bugs Bunny voice in this is terrible. Like, how hard is it to just do a fucking Bugs Bunny imitation? Find someone who can do that. And the person who did it in this like doesn't sound like Bugs. It's not fun. Like they don't have any spirit to this. This movie just has no spirit at all, and it could have overcome a lot of the. It doesn't matter that the plot sucks. The plot sucked in the original movie. What was the plot? I don't even remember. It was like they had to get Michael Jordan down there to save the team. I don't even remember what the fucking plot of the first one was. I haven't seen it in so long. But it at least had some goofiness and some charm and some spirit. And this has nothing. This is just noise. It's just I've seen someone talk about it. It's like the worst example of like a corporate movie. And I kind of agree with that, because it's like they're so busy just reminding you of all these other properties that Warner Brothers owns. It's like, okay, but so play in that sandbox. Like look, like even something like Ralph Breaks the Internet kind of had a similar thing, because there was a lot of because that was a Disney movie, and then there was a lot of Disney stuff in it. But they kind of did some good meta jokes, or even the one I was thinking of watching it, the Rocky and Bullwinkle movie that only I like from 2000. Like if you want to do like a real meta kind of cartoon / live action comedy, like do something like that. But this is just there's just no spirit to this at all. It's not a fun movie. It's not enjoyable. And I know I'm not the fucking target audience. I was even past the age of the target audience when the first one came out. But I could still enjoy it as a silly, Looney Tunes, mature, goofy comedy. But this is just not. It's not fun. It has no spirit. It's like got ugly. It looks ugly. It's got ugly animation. LeBron's fucking dull. They don't do anything with any of the other players that they bring in. There's a couple funny cameos. Fuck it, I'll spoil it. They have a really funny. The one time I really laughed is when they had a scene where they're saying they're bringing back Michael Jordan, but they brought back the actor Michael B. Jordan, and that's a pretty funny scene. I laughed at that. I legitimately laughed at that. But that's like 1 minute of the movie. The rest of it, and it's fucking 2 hours for some reason. I don't know why it has to be that long when it's a fucking cartoon movie about a basketball game. But it's not good. This is definitely the worst movie I've seen this summer for sure. It's definitely one of the worst movies I've seen since theaters reopened. It's done well, at least for a week. I don't know if they're gonna ever try to make another one of these, but Jesus, they kind of have a little thing at the end where it's like, oh, maybe it'll be the Looney Tunes in the live action world. Maybe you can do something with that, if they do another one of these. But make it an actual Looney Tunes cartoon. Don't do anything that you did in this, because this movie was really just an unpleasant experience to sit through. And there's some scenes in it that I'm just sitting there staring into the void, wondering what am I doing with my life that I'm sitting here watching this movie. So I guess I always do ratings on these. I'd give this like maybe a 2 out of 10. It's really pretty bad. Couple decent gags here and there, but man, it's just cameo stuff that occasionally gets a chuckle out of you. It's a really bad movie, and a pox on everyone who made it, because that was a stinker.